Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now, Dillian Whyte has taken the mick out of Deontay Wilder for a video that has been recently uploaded by his fiance or wife or something, I believe, where Deontay Wilder is shown dancing and twerking, which is kind of odd and has its own set of issues, but Dillian Whyte has gone to the lengths of dishing out that video and having a response to it, saying that this guy needs help. So obviously, Deontay Wilder is a former WBC heavyweight world champion and someone that Dillian Whyte chased for years. So he doesn't like Deontay Wilder. So no matter what Deontay Wilder does, he's always going to have an opinion on it or perhaps not like it. But ultimately, this is kind of weird. I mean, twerking in a video is kind of strange, especially considering he's a former heavyweight champion of the world. Does he really want to be two-time heavyweight world champion? Or does he want to be the next Beyonce? I mean, that question remains to be seen. But obviously, Deontay Wilder has a rematch with Tyson Fury coming up. We don't know when it could be. All we know is that it could take place between November and December. Maybe Australia, maybe China, strangely enough, and could still be the US. But ultimately, they are waiting off and waiting for the opportunity to stage it in front of a live crowd because they will make 17 million at the gate and they cannot lose that. So ultimately, until live crowds come back, we will not see Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. But it was Dillian Whyte who always wanted to face Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder kind of dodged him. So Dillian Whyte takes every opportunity to give Deontay Wilder some stick. And it's not malicious or anything like that. Just Dillian Whyte doesn't like him. And I think, to be honest, if you piss off Dillian Whyte, then there's no going back. If he doesn't like you, he doesn't like you. There's no making up with him because ultimately Dillian Whyte is someone who is an out-and-out fighter. He will fight it out and then he will be your friend. After that, I mean, he will be fine. I mean, look at Derek Chisora. They weren't the best of friends. They didn't like each other. They nearly went toe-to-toe and their gloves are off. So ultimately, them two did not like each other. They shared the ring twice and now they're kind of friends, I think. So, I mean, at least they have respect for one another. But Dillian Whyte has never got that opportunity with Deontay Wilder. So he's never had that opportunity to humble him in the ring and then shake his hand after. So that is why Dillian Whyte has a problem with Deontay Wilder, and it will continue until and if he gets Deontay Wilder into the ring so he can humble him. And that's a big if, because he would still fight Deontay Wilder even if the WBC world title is not on the line, because that's the kind of guy Dillian Whyte is. You can see that with the Joseph Parker fight. He was chasing a fight with Joseph Parker. Parker went for the Anthony Joshua fight, unification, you can understand that, but ultimately Dillian Whyte still fought him even though there was no world title on the line. He still fought him because he wanted that fight. And the same would apply with Deontay Wilder, but it seems unlikely that fight would ever happen because Deontay Wilder, I don't believe, can beat Tyson Fury. And ultimately, what is there for Deontay Wilder other than a rematch with Tyson Fury? What else can he do after that? He can continue. There's no use giving up after losing 2 fights in your career. But you just have to wonder, is Deontay Wilder up for going back, fighting eliminators, mandatories and things like that before getting his opportunity again? That remains to be seen. We don't know what Deontay Wilder is truly made of. He could come back, but we don't know what's going to happen at this stage. We don't even know what is going to happen in the third fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Now, interestingly enough, hypothetically, if Tyson Fury were to say, I don't want to fight my mandatory Dillian Whyte, and maybe the Deontay Wilder rematch does not happen because there's a lot of silence from Deontay Wilder at the moment other than these weird dancing videos, but there's a lot of silence from Deontay Wilder's side. So if that fight doesn't happen and Tyson Fury does not want to face his mandatory Dillian Whyte, then who will fight it out for the vacant WBC world title if Tyson Fury were to vacate to not fight Dillian Whyte because he doesn't really want to? He never mentions Dillian Whyte in his plans. He says he's got one fight, that's Deontay Wilder, then he has Anthony Joshua. So Tyson Fury is completely counting out the chance of fighting Dillian Whyte. So that means he's not a part of his plans. So maybe if Tyson Fury were to vacate, the vacant title would be contested between Dillian Whyte and Deontay Wilder because Dillian Whyte is mandatory and Deontay Wilder is the next in line behind Dillian Whyte in the WBC, meaning that they both would fight for the vacant title, interestingly enough. But I don't believe that will happen. I believe that what will happen is after Tyson Fury beats Deontay Wilder again, if that fight goes ahead, which I think it will. There are some rumours that that fight isn't going to happen, but I believe it will. I believe that fight will go ahead. But when Tyson Fury wins that fight, which I believe he will, I know it's counting out Deontay Wilder, a fearsome puncher, and you can't really do that, but still, you'd have to agree that Tyson Fury is the clear favourite going in, having won the second fight conclusively, and the first fight just didn't get the decision. So Tyson Fury realistically is going to beat Deontay Wilder in the third fight. But what will happen is that the WBC, I believe, will make Tyson Fury franchise champion, meaning that he relinquishes his obligations to fight his mandatory Dillian Whyte, meaning that he can go into a unification fight with Anthony Joshua. So if Tyson Fury is franchise champion, that makes Dillian Whyte WBC heavyweight world champion. So that's great for Dillian Whyte, but ultimately he wants to fight the champ, Tyson Fury. And I think we all would agree, we want to see the real WBC belt on the line against Anthony Joshua, because what's the point? Anthony Joshua can't win that franchise championship off of Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury doesn't have to face mandatory. So that WBC franchise champion status seems kind of pointless, really. So I believe we should leave that aside and make sure that the WBC world title is on the line in Undisputed, meaning that Tyson Fury should be facing his mandatory Dillian Whyte. Now, first, of course, Tyson Fury must come through Deontay Wilder again, and that's not going to be easy because Deontay Wilder will be more motivated, but I believe that Deontay Wilder cannot do much in that third fight because he doesn't really have any basics to go back to. He's a fearsome puncher, and realistically, that's it. He needs to change his team. I mean, he'd be better off making Mark Breland his full-time head coach, not Jay Diaz, because Jay Diaz doesn't really know what he's doing, I don't think, because he doesn't give Deontay Wilder any advice in the corner where you think, that's good advice. In fact, he barely even talks to Deontay Wilder in the corner. So he just kind of pushes him out there and says, go do your stuff, just wait for that punch to come, then throw it, and they're out cold. That's it. They don't seem to have any concept of what they need to do when they're in there with an elite level fighter like Tyson Fury, because they need to stop Tyson Fury from coming forward. And you could see what was going to happen in that second round. That's when you need to get a hold of your fighter and say, look, you need to change something. You need to stop him from coming forward. Throw a punch to his chest. Stop these looping hooks around the side. Go for straight shots. Straight down the barrel, aim for his chest, because he can move his head, but he can't move his body as fast as he can move his head. And yes, headshots are the ones that will knock Tyson Fury out if Deontay Wilder catches him, but those shots to the chest will stop Tyson Fury coming forward, and that's what they need to do. But there was no concept of this. There was no getting a hold of Deontay Wilder and saying, this is what you need to do. The fight is going in this direction. Let's stop it. Let's turn the tide in that third round, because after round 1 and 2, you could see the way the fight was going. And the outlook for Deontay Wilder did not look good considering the way those first 2 rounds went. He was all right in the first round, a bit cagey, and he didn't really know what to do with Tyson Fury. In the second round, things got worse. And then in the third round, there was no going back for Deontay Wilder. The coach's job is to get a hold of their fighter and say, look, this is what you need to do. You need to change this, this, and this, and that is what you need to do. Otherwise, the fight is going in the wrong direction for you. And Jay Diaz should have noticed that in the second round. It's not hard to change up the tactics and just say, throw a straight shot to Tyson Fury's chest. Get him on the back foot. Stop him from coming forward. If you can't hit him in the head, hit him somewhere else where you can, the body, because as I said before, he cannot move his body as fast as he can move his head. But unless Deontay Wilder changes up his team or changes something behind the scenes, then the same thing will ensue again in the third fight between him and Tyson Fury. And then Tyson Fury will go on to his mandatory Dillian Whyte and then into Undisputed with Anthony Joshua. And Deontay Wilder will be left with a decision to make. Go back to fighting eliminators and top 10 heavyweights in order to get his opportunity again, or retire. I mean, after making big purses against Tyson Fury, is he going to be interested in getting less money for eliminators where he is not the champ? So we will find out all we need to know about Deontay Wilder in that third fight. What is he truly made of? Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up, and subscribe if you are new. Thank you, guys.